What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be restoring this 2001 Kyosho Pure 10 V1S. Before we dive into this restoration, I want to take you back to 2001 when this car was released. Kyosho was established in 1963, and since then it has delivered high-end products year after year, consistently delivering outstanding performance on all of its range. Alright guys, I want to dive into this restoration now. If you're enjoying this show, please hit the subscribe button, leave a comment what you want to see next, and I'll get to it. So it's now time to remove the motor and electronics from this car and to give it its first wash in what looks to be 20 years. I started off by inspecting the car to understand how it's pieced together. I then removed the servo linkage to the carburetor, followed by the engine mounts, which I had to apply some force to. Luckily I was able to get them out, but somebody had already had a good crack at trying to strip these bolts. This is the Kyosho GS15R engine. It produces 0.9 horsepower, which is a really good power output for this size engine. It's a 0.15. I'm now going to leave this engine in some brake fluid, which I've done off camera, to just try and clean it up. When significant amounts of oil, dirt and grease sit on the engine block, it actually reduces the heatsink efficiency of cooling the motor, so you want to remove that as much as possible to ensure long life performance. I then removed the fuel tank, and as you can see it is absolutely disgusting. This is going to need a good clean, and I did put some nitro in there just to try and get some fuel into the carby while it's sat to clean it out a bit. I then removed the two servos on the top mounting piece with the transponder clip. I also removed the wheels. Unfortunately I did not get the full set of wheels, but that's okay. This car is really dirty, so I will be using an all-purpose cleaner. I will then remove all the dirt, grease and grime on this car and blow it out with an air compressor so that no water is sitting on all of the bearings and metal components. Alright, so I filled a bucket with hot water and detergent or all-purpose cleaner, and then I started to agitate all the dirt to remove it all. This took me about an hour. Just to give you an idea of how filthy it was, look at the water that came out of the bucket. So this is the result from 2 buckets of water. I cleaned it in one, blew it out with the air compressor, and then I put it in again, hot water, scrubbed it just to get every piece of dirt that I possibly could. It's not perfect, but I must say I am pretty happy with the result. I also washed the fuel tank. That came out quite nice. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for what I need it for. I then moved on to oil all the bearings. I used Sonax SX90 for this. It really penetrates all of the metal components by foaming up in there. I then used another product from Sonax that's actually made for cars. It's a waterless wash. I just went over the whole body with a wet cloth and sprayed this waterless wash on there. This product in particular leaves a coating on the shell afterwards, so shouldn't get as much dirt stuck to it in the future. I also cleaned the wheels. I then moved on to the transponder clip and the servo housing, and then I also cleaned the exhaust. And finally, the engine. This took me hours to clean. I used brake cleaner, brake fluid, isopropyl alcohol, all sorts of methods to clean this engine, but I'm really happy with how it came out. Now I'm going to be chucking in a fresh OS8 glow plug. As you can see, this engine is really healthy, it's turning over like new. So I'm now going to install this glow plug. I really recommend the OS8s for almost all engines if it's suitable. Now here I'm piecing together the servo housing and connecting the servos, wiring all the electronics up again, and I installed the fuel tank. It looks pretty good now, it's nice and clean, so let's go ahead and install that. So I'm now going to screw this main piece down and then mount it all up. Here I connected the steering servo linkages, and now we're ready to install the engine. Alright guys, if you're still watching, thank you so much. Now we're going to get this thing fired up soon, but first I just want to show you the transformation this thing's had from this old, dirty car to now what seems to be an almost new Kyosho Pure 10. Alright, so I just wanted to make sure the electronics are working, and then I primed the engine, and then I tried to fire it up. It's running very rich, but I would call that a success. I'm super stoked that it started up. I definitely expected it to, but it's much better when it actually happens. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for watching this restoration video. If you want to subscribe, I would be very grateful for that. In the next video, we're going to get out on the road and take it for a rip. Still needs some tuning, but I'll be doing that in the next video. I didn't have the new wheels here for it yet, and I won't be driving it on the old ones. They're way too old. So yeah, get keen guys, and it'll be out soon. Take it easy.